everyone. I hope I got everything working now. When I first was trying to get on, the camera wouldn't rotate. So I logged out of everything and I tried like 3 times, finally got it to rotate. So I think I'm good now. Got it on my iPad. Hopefully I'm here. Hello, Donna. Okay, we are ready to go. Welcome. I am Monika Davis. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Milton, Roswell area of Georgia. And I am happy to have you here. Hopefully everything goes well today. Minor blips right there at the beginning, but I think everything is on track now. And it looks like I have my iPad up, the volume's off. We'll see if the dogs will be quiet today. They are, what are they doing? I don't know, they're doing a little bit of wrestling around down there on the ground. It is, what is today? July 17th. We're halfway through July. My youngest son just had a birthday on Friday. And I think next week we get to go visit him for a short visit. So we're looking forward to that. Going on right now, we have bonus days happening and online exclusives. And let's see, we are in the August subscription period for Paper Pumpkin. The July kits have shipped and should be arriving in your mailbox. I get multiple kits, and I did get one, and I think the other 2 are sitting probably in my mailbox. I didn't go up there over the weekend. We don't have a mailbox like at the end of our driveway, like the way we did in our old neighborhood. Our mailbox is like a kiosk down at the end of the street, so we don't go down there necessarily every single day. But hey, Margie. Oh, Elena is 5 today. Wow. Those grandbabies are getting older. I know, it's hard to believe. My youngest son, he turned 27. Can you believe it? I have my baby is 27 years old. So anyway, and then next weekend, Greg and I this weekend, Greg and I have our wedding anniversary. 34 years is our anniversary this Saturday, and we are going kayaking. So we haven't done that in many years, so we'll see how that goes. That should be fun. So hello, Jane. Welcome, everybody. All right, I'm going to turn the camera down now. And we'll look at the desktop. Hold tight. Okay, good. I pushed the right button. I actually cleaned up in my craft room yesterday. I got started and then I got into it and didn't want to stop. I got a lot done this morning. I kind of cleaned up my actual desk because I didn't get to that, and then I still have stuff in the back of my room that I didn't quite get to. I got through some things, but not everything. So bonus days is going on in July. So for every $50 you spend, you earn a $5 coupon. So when you shop online, make sure you have a valid email address in there. And your product needs to be at least $50 to get the $5 coupon. If it's $100, you'd get 2 coupons, and they'll be sent to you through that email address. Save those emails. You can take a picture of them you can write them down, but sometimes when we write things down, we, you know, you look back later and go, is that supposed to be a 0 or is that supposed to be the letter O? You know, little things like that. So I would save the emails, would be the best thing. And then when August gets here, you'll be able to redeem the coupon codes at checkout. You put each code in separately, and you have the whole month of August to do that. And then we have online exclusives going on. Though we had new releases in July, some of which sold out very fast, so I wanted to update you on that. The truck stamp set is available again as of today. I just looked before I went live. And you should be able to order the truck bundle now with the punch and the stamp set, unless you want the French version. The French version isn't back in stock yet. I think this one's called Very or So Very Merry. This one with this stained glass image. That one will be back in stock the week of July 31st. This one with the flower, I think you can see a few images here. The flower, I think it was called Timeless. I've forgotten the name now. Maybe Timeless Florals. Anyway, that one is also back. It went out temporarily, I think last week, so one day, but it is back as well. And then over the weekend, the paper, the One Horse Open Sleigh designer paper sold out over the weekend, and it's expected back the week of July 24th, which would be next week. So hopefully everything will be back by the end of the month. So that's the updates I have for you on that. So today what I'm showing you is, I'm not actually going to do the Friends Forever kit, but what I'm going to do is use the stamp set from the kit to make some other cards. So if you bought the kit, or if you plan to buy the kit will make these 2 cards. These are the cards that are in the kit, and they've got these matching envelopes. So that's what's in the kit. But once you're done with the kit, you're left with the stamp set, and you actually have, you know, your block and your ink spot. You may have some other little bits and pieces left over. I am not using anything else out of the kit. I'm not even using the navy ink spot. I'm really just working with the stamp set and pulling in some products from the annual catalog. So after you have the kits, and this goes with, you know, for paper pumpkin as well. Once you're done with your paper pumpkin kits, you still have stamp sets left that you can use to make other things with. So, and the kits collection, there's a bunch of kits. I still don't have the newest one that came out in July. I think I already showed you the beach one. I thought I did. The confetti birthday. I think the confetti birthday is currently sold out, but it'll be back. And then here, the Friends Forever is the one I'm using. That one came out in April. So we're going to do, that's the one we're working with. And I added, what I'm using with it is this inked Botanical 6x6 designer series paper. We're going to use that. We're using the Happy Labels Pick a Punch, and we are going to be using some ribbon. This is Lost Lagoon bordered ribbon. It's a real pretty natural looking ribbon, so we're going to be using that. And then we're using some ink and cardstock and Stampin' Blends. So let me see if I can show you the full sheets of these papers. All right, this is the one down here in the corner. It's got flowers on one side and then like a, I don't know, like a wheat. There's one. Let's see if I can find all these. I should have gotten these out better. All right, here's this next one. The flowers, that's one side and the back. So these papers were made by, the artist actually took real flowers and leaves and put paint on them and like pressed them. So she inked up the real flowers. That's this one right here. Let's see. Here's that one. That's that one right there. Let's see. I can find all of them. Here's this one. So it's got a pattern like that on one side, that's on the other. And I might be missing a couple of these. I think this is the one we used. Let's see if I can find it. Scraps of it. Here's a scrap. I had used this, everyone in my team meeting on Saturday used this one for one of the cards, so I don't really have any left. I don't have a full sheet left. Here's another scrap. So there's that one. And then this one right here has a smaller leaf. And then we've got, let's see. I guess I should have been a little bit more ready. I have to find that one. I don't see that one just right this second. Here is this one, like that. I've got that one right there. That one I know we also used in our team meeting. I don't think I have any full sheets of those either. Okay, here we have that one. That one. So I'll show you a piece of that when we make our cards here in a second. So those are the papers. And there's actually a bundle, a stamp set and a punch bundle that coordinate with this to make a suite. But we are going to make alternate cards. So, oh my gosh, where did I put one? All right, so the first card we're going to make, I actually used the card from the kit as my template. Like when they say you want to case a card, copy and share everything. So the card, I actually copied this card. So the layout is very similar. I switched, of course, the paper and the colors. I didn't have, like in the kit, this is pre-printed and you're stamping the outline. I, of course, didn't have that. So I had to stamp and color the flowers myself. So that's what we're doing for card number 1. Let me see. All right. So what I need to do is I'm going to be using the flower and the leaves and the little flower, and I am using the black Memento ink. because I'm going to be coloring with Stampin' Blends. So we're going to stamp our flower 2 times. And then we're going to stamp our leaves. Sorry, let me get this under here. So we're just adding some leaves, and then we're going to add a few of these little tiny flowers. There we go. So I went with the colors in that designer paper, which include the Lost Lagoon and Calypso Coral and a Petal Pink. And then the color in the paper is crushed curry, and we don't have crushed curry in the Stampin' Blends, so I'm using Daffodil Delight. So I'm actually going to use the dark Daffodil Delight just on these small flowers. I guess I could have pulled in the actual crushed curry Stampin' Right marker, but this is very similar. And I don't have any other yellow on this, so it won't make any difference. All right, we're going to use, I'm using Calypso Coral here in the center. I'm not really trying to be perfect. And then I'm using the, that was the dark Calypso Coral, and I'm using the dark Petal Pink. Can you hear the dogs? They're wrestling back here. I was hoping they would sleep, but they're not doing that today. So we're just kind of coloring. Adding some color. This doesn't have to be perfect. And you could do different colors if you wanted to. Now I've got the dark Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to highlight kind of the centers of these leaves. And then finish my leaves with the light Lost Lagoon. It's kind of a blue-green color. This is one of the colors that returned to our color family. It was previously retired, and I really like this color. And then I'm also going to use this kind of to add like the stems on these little flowers. Just kind of like a stem and a leaf, just a little bit. A lot of that will end up being covered up. So I've got a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock that I'm going to glue this to. There's that. All right, so for my greeting, we're using this one that says, "Sending lots of hugs." strip, and then I'm using the Happy Labels Pick a Punch. I'm going to use this edge that's the scalloped edge. So this one will fit a 1/2 inch wide strip, a 3/4 inch wide, or a 1 inch wide strip. So this happens to be a 3/4 inch strip. So I'm going to set it in there, and I'm going to punch the two sides. If you don't have that punch or you don't like that, you can leave that off. I've got my thick white card base. And then here is a piece of the designer paper. So Saturday the girls used this design, but I ran out. So for me today, I have switched it to this other one. It's still Lost Lagoon. It's just a different print. So you could use either one. That on, this will go on with dimensionals. Let's see, do I have another pack here? There we go. I'm going to put this in the center, and let me show you what I'm going to do with, oh, I have an extra piece. What I'm going to do with this ribbon. So you want a good pair of paper snips. And what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to cut off the edges of the ribbon by coming just inside the edge. Okay, so you kind of got to hold it with these two fingers and these two fingers so that I can cut up. Because I wanted like a like the baker's twine look like the kit had in it. If you had leftover baker's twine in that Calypso coral color, you could use that. But can you see? Hopefully you can see. Let's see if I can do it a little higher. I'm just going right inside that bordered edge of this ribbon. All right, so that gives me this thin bordered piece from the ribbon. And for this card, we're not tying it. All we're doing is just folding it into thirds. It's going to fold like that. I'm going to add just a little bit of adhesive right in the middle. You could add a glue dot if you wanted. And I'm going to bunch this up and stick it in right there. And then we're going to put the label over the top. And there is our first card based on the card in the kit. So this design is the same. I just use different products from the regular catalog. So that is our first card. I set that aside. All right, the second card I did, so I actually, I looked in my catalog at the samples that were made with this designer series paper. So this is part of the Inked Botanicals suite, which is on pages 94 and 95. That's the whole suite. That's the stamp set. And here's the punch that go with the paper and ribbon we're using today. I don't actually have those. I just have the ribbon and the paper. And then the second card is based on this idea where they stamped on the designer paper. And then they have a greeting over here in the corner. So that's what we're doing for card number 2. Now on Saturday, I gave the girls the paper with the yellow grid, and they used all of that up. So for my sample, I'm using the Lagoon grid. So we're going to switch. Instead of having the Lagoon in the back and the crushed curry in the front, we're going to do it the opposite way. And then we're going to be stamping on this piece. So let me clean my stamps. And I'm going to use the Lost Lagoon. And I'm just randomly stamping on the background. So it's going to look like a different, totally different paper because I'm stamping on it. All right. So I usually start with the largest image, move to the next largest, and then fill in with the small image. There's that. We have the thick white card base. We're going to add this to the background and then put that one on top of it. But actually, let me work on these other pieces. I have this 1-inch strip, which we're gonna put in here and punch. Oops. I didn't get it in there very well. If you need to look, if you're straight, there we go. I got that side straight. Let's see if I can get this side straight. All right. So there's that one. And then I'm also going to stamp these words. This says, you can do hard things. Some days we have to tell ourselves that. I'm going to need these again and clean. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. So this is the 1/2 inch size strip, which will go all the way in. There we go. I think I want to make that a little bit shorter. Okay. Uneven, trying to get them even now. Okay, I think I got it pretty even. I just made a mess. We're going to stamp the flower in the center of this is a 2-inch circle punch I used. And then I've got the ribbon again, so I cut off one side of the ribbon. Now I'm going to cut off the other side. So I'm going to hold and I'm going to save the middle because I'm going to use that in a minute too. You want sharp scissors when you're doing this. If your scissors aren't sharp, they're not going to cut well. And don't go too fast. So I'm basically cutting off the 2 bordered sides of my ribbon. That's the center. We're going to use that in a minute. So I have another little bordered piece. All right, let's put this together. I'm angling my papers. Then I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive down so that I can add that piece of ribbon right there. This is going to go next. We're going to glue that circle on there. And then glue . If you want, you could stick a little piece of a dimensional underneath the end here. To help support the end of that. All right, there is card number 2, and you've got the 2 different versions of it, just reversing the colors. And if you wanted, I didn't do this, I could have, added, did a little coloring in the center of that flower. I could have added a leaf in there. I could have added more. So that's the second card. All right, now our third card is this one. And what I did is I had a bunch of scraps of that designer paper and decided to use that for my card. And then I'm also using this wispy bow right here is the center of the ribbon. I'm going to show you how I did that in just a second. And then this flower is going to be stamped, colored, and then fussy cut. So we'll start with that. I don't remember if I cleaned these or not. So we're going to stamp in Memento ink. So I'm going to stamp the flower, and then I'm going to stamp these leaves just tucked right in there. We are going to color. This one I'm going to color the Calypso center. And the Daffodil. If you want it lighter, you could use the light version. Let me just blend out a little bit lighter on the edges. And our leaves. Okay, so then this will be fussy cut. And I am fussy cutting the flower and the leaf together. As though it were one image. This doesn't have to be exact. These are kind of whimsical flowers. So I'm just kind of going around. I am leaving a little bit of a white border around the entire thing. All right, there's the flower. We All right, so for this ribbon, so I've cut away the two outer edges, and what I have left is I have all these long strands that go this way, and then I have all these short strands that go across. So let's see, I'm gonna do this on top of my paper here. This will make a mess. So what I want to do is I want to pull out these long strands. So there I have a few. I'll lay those right there. As I pull, see all those little in between? All right, there's some more. So I want the long strands. Some of these, depending on how straight you were at cutting off those borders, that's about all the long ones I have. Then I'm left with all those little ones, so that goes in the trash. So I'm left with a little collection of these threads, and I'm going to use that to make my bow. So I call this the bunny ear bow. I make one bunny ear, I make two bunny ears, and then I'm going to fold that one and pull it through. And that's giving me the wispy bow. And you can adjust the loops. So that gives me the wispy bow that I have underneath the flower on this card. If you can't or don't want to tie it in a bow, you could always just put adhesive down and, you know, just stick all that in the adhesive without actually tying the bow. Here's that. So these strips, they're half inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch, and then they are, I think, some of them are 3, some of them are 3.5, and some of them are 4 inches long. So we're just gonna kind of put these in here. You can turn them over whichever way you want. I'll do that one. So they're all going to be different, and I'm just going to start gluing these down. This is a good way to use up little strips of paper that you might have laying around that you don't want to waste. So you can see I don't have exactly the same combination. I have the same widths and lengths, but not the same patterns from this card. Which is fine. We're gonna add a touch of the adhesive right there to add my bow. And if you don't tie a bow, you could just loop your bow into that adhesive. Got my flower. And if you want to trim these up to make them even. And the words. That says, I'm always here for you no matter what. And then just to give it a little bit of color, I just took my blends and I just swiped a little bit of color across there. Dimensionals. And that is card number 3. So that gives you some alternates for the Friends, Forever Friends stamp set. There's also the words Forever Friends, and then there's one that says Nobody Gets Me Like You Get Me. So you've got that. If you want to make the envelopes to match, you could cover the flap of the envelopes with the coordinating paper. I showed that, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was at the very beginning of the month. I showed you how we added paper to the flaps. So that I did recently. But let me pull these back in. So we have those two. We have these two. And these two. So those are all alternates with the Forever Friends stamp set from the Kits collection. All right, orders, online orders. You can use the host code for July, which is this one, 9TCTZAMQ. Remember, if you have $50, you earn a $5 bonus coupon, and the bonus coupons will be redeemable in August. Online exclusives, the truck is back. The Timeless Flowers, I think that's what it was called, that's back. I guess I can look. Let's see, do I have that right here? Timeless Charm bundle. Timeless Charm is back. The truck bundle is back. The So Very Merry will be back at the end of the month, and the paper, One Horse Open Sleigh paper should be back next week. All right, I will see you again next week on Monday. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.